Previously on the Undercover Insurer.
Our vision is the same vision we've had since I've been in insurance, is to offer a quality product at the right price for the customer.
We didn't have computers when I started, it was all fountain pens and newfangled biros.
The insurance company that he'd been put with didn't actually accept commercial vehicle no claims bonus on a car policy.
I have chosen an individual, and that was Max, so well done Max.
3 insurance professionals were given the mission to find out what brokers really thought of insurers. However, the brokers they spoke to were completely unaware that they were actually talking to personal lines specialists from Zurich. Originally launched as Park Home Insurance Services and rebranded in 2010, the family-run Sussex-based broker Coast has established itself over the last 2 decades as an expert provider of park home, motorhome and caravan insurance. Ian McManus is the head of personal lines broker at Zurich. But today, as the Undercover Insurer, Ian is visiting Coast's Wadhurst headquarters under the guise of an insurance consultant to meet the staff who make the firm tick. None of whom know his true identity or that the standout employee will win an iPad.
I'm here today at Coast. Obviously I'm from Zurich. The people I'll be seeing today don't know I'm from Zurich, so it'll be very interesting to find out what they tell us and the issues and challenges they face on a day-to-day basis.
To prepare for his day at Coast, Ian met with director Robert Tuke.
Hi Robert.
Oh, hi Ian.
What do you do differently as a specialist insurance broker that perhaps a general intermediary wouldn't?
I think a general broker can target the market with a bit more of a broad brush. As we specialise in the leisure industry, we have to focus more obviously within that market. We, for example, for touring caravans, motorhomes, we attend shows at the NEC, Manchester, Glasgow. These are typically attended sort of by 50,000 people upwards, so we really try and get in amongst the people that we are trying to insure. We also have somebody out on the road visiting dealers, caravan dealers, motorhome dealers, so we get the brand out there in that way.
What are the main challenges you're facing in the market at the moment?
I think we're experiencing perhaps what the general insurance market went through 5-10 years ago, and that's increased competition. Certainly touring caravans, static caravans are now appearing on aggregators. Park homes not so much, but the general competitiveness and more people within the market has certainly grown over the last few years. Touring caravans, there are sort of 42 players in the market, whereas sort of 5, 6, 7 years ago there was 10, 12, so it's almost sort of quadrupled.
Robert has selected 5 employees to sit down with Ian to answer questions about what it's like to work at Coast, including its culture, ethos and relationships with insurers. The employees think that they are being filmed as part of a corporate video. However, none of them know Ian's true identity or that they are competing for a prize.
So what's your particular role here at Coast?
I'm the compliance manager, so it's my job to make sure that all the documentation is right, that we follow the procedures that are laid down by our regulator, and to notice when we're not doing things right.
So what sort of challenges have you had in the sort of last couple of years particularly? Because we had the change from the FSA to the FCA, slightly different approach. What things cause you the most trouble on a day-to-day basis in ensuring that you're fully compliant, treating customers fairly?
I suppose you're right, one of the biggest changes was FSA to FCA. We've only got till the 1st of April this year to update all of our documentation so that it has the right regulatory disclosure on it. So that's a huge project to get everything actually changed. I mean, most things don't change on a day-to-day basis. You can be hit by a review where the FCA decide that they're going to suddenly look at something. So they've recently done something on add-on products. So we've had to look at the motor legal expenses that we've done. But you normally have some kind of warning, so it's not like it suddenly appears on the horizon.
So what would be the difference perhaps between a standard motor claim and a motor caravan or motorhome claim?
Well, a motor caravan, probably very little. But as far as we're concerned, our particular department doesn't handle the motor claim. So we're actually dealing with the tourers. So from that point of view, liability-wise is very similar, obviously, because it's usually attached to a car at the time. And as far as the park homes and the static caravans are concerned, you're dealing with something which is more akin to household.
Yeah. So are there any particular challenges you get around the sort of types of construction or the sort of the ability to fulfil those claims from sort of, there's obviously a lot more suppliers in the building trade generally.
Far more.
I would assume than we're on.
Far more. The challenges are basically availability of parts, the constant change of manufacturers in terms of the style and makeup of the properties, and the fact they don't keep a long stock of replacements.
Right.
So, for example, you would take a touring caravan and almost every year they change the colours, the styles and the fittings. And they buy batches of things like cookers and what have you. And of course when it comes to repair, in a year's time you can't get that cooker in that hole. So you're back to a supply problem. On the claims themselves, the biggest problem is probably weather. Because we suffer similar to household situations. For example, in May we had the freak conditions to do with storm damage. We weren't expecting it in May, it came over a weekend, and we lost something like 70 awning claims on our touring caravans in one night.
So from your background, would you say the motorhome business is more or less competitive than the standard sort of personal motor, or is it?
It is more competitive. It's than the standard motor. It's more specialist. People tend to look after their vehicles. It's their hobby, as well as their holidays. Obviously, they want things very particular, very precise. It's well priced, and considering sometimes that the vehicles are off the road for 6 months of the year, sometimes, which is quite a common thing, it still takes that into account. So it's and it's done on mileage, reduced mileage, and so it is a good policy.
Sam, tell me what brought you into the insurance industry.
I used to be in retail and I wanted to move into an office-based environment. I wanted to move into sales, and insurance seemed to be the first point of call. It just seems to tie in everything that I wanted to do.
Okay, so have you thought about professional qualifications in the insurance industry?
Yes, I'd like to do the diploma for the Cert CII qualification, and maybe move on to further qualifications from that as well.
So when will you be sort of taking your first exams?
Hopefully in January.
Excellent.
It should be. I've only been here 6 months at the moment, so still learning the ropes. And
having been here for 6 months, what do you find interesting or rewarding about
it's definitely the sales side of things. You're giving someone a personal service. It's not sort of a big call centre. You're actually giving the customer a bit more. You're learning a bit more about them, and you're giving them the best cover that they can possibly ask for. So, it's just fulfilling the job.
So your customers, are they solely price focused, or do they value the service that Coast bring to the party?
I think, as I said before, they are quite into the small family company more than price sometimes. New business is generally from people who have been recommended by existing customers who want to come to us because they've had such a good service. So the service is service and price, a combination of both, I would say. I can't say that one is better than the other.
Having spoken to the employees, Ian now has the tough task of deciding who should be rewarded with the iPad and a chance at winning a £1,500 personal development fund as the overall series winner.
It's been 5 really interesting conversations, found out some very interesting things about what goes on the front line. We need to pick a winner, and it's going to be a really difficult choice.
Robert has pulled the 5 employees into an important meeting. However, none of them are aware that the real reason they have been called together is for Ian to reveal the true purpose of his visit.
Well, hello everybody. Thanks very much for today. It's been really good talking to all of you. Just now time to let you into a bit of a secret. We haven't been filming a promotional video for Coast. I am an industry expert, but I'm actually Ian McManus, Head of Personal Lines Broker for Zurich. We've arranged this with Robert to come and find out what really goes on the front line. And the information you've given me today has been really insightful, and it's a real help to actually get your views on what's happening. I've also been asked while I'm here to pick out a winner, somebody who's just given us a little bit more information or a little bit more insight. And the winner of an iPad is Sue. There's a reward for that. Well done, Sue. Thanks very much. Thank you.
I'm really pleased. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great fun and really nice prize. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been a great day. It's been really interesting talking to the guys on the front line, understanding some of the challenges and opportunities that exist for a broker working in niche markets. It is really great to see that brokers like Coast can identify opportunities and segments that aren't easily met by particularly major insurers and the mass lines, and proving very successful at doing so.